What's going on, people? Jason, the creator of jasonsvideogamesource.com, and today we got a review for Star Fox Nintendo Switch 2 2026. Now, my history with the Star Fox franchise is actually kind of weird. In the early 2000s, I was attending the university, and I did beat one Star Fox game, but it was basically like an Ocarina of Time clone called Star Fox Adventures. This is based off the 1997 Star Fox 64, I believe. So, yeah, this is the first actually proper Star Fox game I'm playing. Because Star Fox, at its essence, is an Unreal's, fighter jet, third person, Unreal shooter. That's basically the essence of Star Fox. And the one I played was like a third person action adventure game. I remember swinging a staff and hitting lizards and shit. So that was not really like a proper. It was a great game to me at the time, but it wasn't a Star Fox game. So Star Fox, for before I even get into it, I'm gonna give it a low 8 out of 10. Now that's a low 8. It's not a high 8. It's a low 8. It doesn't make any damn difference. But I'm gonna give it a low 8 out of a 10. It cost was a retail $59.99 and $49.99 for the digital version. It was published and developed by Nintendo, and came out June 25th, I believe. Now, I didn't know this until I played this game, that Star Fox are small games. They only take a couple hours, like, to get to the to beat the campaign and whatnot. But there's a couple things in this Star Fox 2026 that I actually like, and that it adds a little more replay value. That I believe, the presentation is Nintendo. If you know Nintendo, they have a quality presentation where it's basically like from the 1980s, where everything's pretty much in a box to a certain extent, unless they add DLC, obviously. But it's a high quality product. Visually, I can't compare this to the old Nintendo, the 64 version of Star Fox, but everything's crisp, everything runs well technically. Were no bugs or glitches, looks good, solid 60 frames per second, and yada yada yada. Right? It's a Nintendo. It's a first party Nintendo game. So yeah, I probably put about 3.5 hours into this. I played some of the multiplayer. There's a lot of different aspects that you can add more replayability to Star Fox. There's multiple co-op modes. There's multiple game share modes, and I did spend some time playing. Forgot the name of it. It was like the multiplayer battle mode. That's the name. It's called battle mode, and it's basically like a hodgepodge of, open world maps where you doing different, like protecting the satellite, or shooting down enemies. It changes. It's kind of a typical, I would think, multiplayer mode you would add for a Star Fox. But yeah, I beat the game probably about 2 hours. I played on easy and normal difficulties and stuff, and this game, you will die in normal. At least I did. I died in normal mode quite a few times, and there is an expert mode once you beat the campaign and stuff. Uh, so you start out training and everything, and there is a holo viewer where you can look at the type of enemies, the different mercenary factions, like those Star Wolf, and the Star Fox factions and everything. Which is pretty nice. So you could get like some more. I don't think that was in like the old version of Star Fox, and you can get a lot of information about the world and the characters stuff, which I think Nintendo should. If they're planning on making like sequels and stuff, the Holo Viewer is a very good add-on, I would think, to this franchise, so people can get more of the lore and why everything is the way it is and everything. All right, so the story basically goes: you play as Fox McCloud. In the beginning, you see your father James McCloud battle a guy called Andros, or trying to find a guy named Andros, and he gets basically sucked into a planet or something. You never see him again, and basically you play as his son named Fox McCloud, the leader of Star Fox, the next leader. His father was the first leader of Star Fox, the mercenary crew, ragtag mercenary crew filled with Falco Lombardi, was Sleepy Toad, and Sleepy Toad's pretty cool, and Peppy here, I believe. And you take orders from General Peppy, which is like a dog. They're like different animals and stuff, and they basically make up the whole game to me, as far as the dialogue and the story and everything. You know, the interactions between the crew. Think about Top Gun with furry animals, and you know, that's kind of what I'm getting out of it. Uh, so the story is basically you gotta save the Lilat system from Andros, which is like an evil scientist and stuff. All right, you know, uh, I defeated him in the last level. There's 7 different world maps, worlds that you go into. That's part of the story, and depending on the map, it could take 5 to 10 minutes to me, for me at least, to get through the maps and stuff. So there's a lot of replay. You could play these maps over and over and over again. Since it's an Unreal shooter, it's basically designed for that, for you to just keep playing it over and over. And there's challenge modes. There's, you know, there's different paths and stuff. So if you want to add more hours to basically the campaign and the maps, you can actually do it. Okay, and plus, like I said, you got the battle mode, you got the multiplayer, which I think was it 4-4. I played a couple of matches. I think it's 4-4 last night. It's pretty fun. I mean, I was getting shoot down. Uh, Gameplay, mechanically wise, the R wing. I know the footage showing the land. I forgot the name of it, but this is like a battle tank in a certain chapter. But there's a lot of I won't say a lot, but you know, you can do different maneuvers and, you know, different item upgrades. The better you play in the R wing, which is the ship that you pilot. There's somersaults, there's U-turns, there's shield upgrades, there's laser upgrades and stuff. So the better you play, the more the multiplayer aspect of the items, they drop better, and you add more to your lasers and shield and stuff. Um, and you get extra 1-ups too. You gotta remember, this game was originally released in 1997, so it has a lot of that DNA still. It just looks pretty and it runs really good, but this is basically a game that came out in the late 90s, so keep that in mind. Um, let's see if there's something else here. No, I mean, it's a great game. It's just not a big game. It's not a lot of, like, you know, it's not a game where you could put 20 hours into, unless you just want to keep like trying to raise your score on the various maps and stuff, and try to, you know, get the highest score. It's kind of got that old fashioned aspect of it where you just trying to get a high score, you know, when it's all said and done. There's cutscenes in between the chapters and everything, where it takes place on the Great Fox, which is like the main Star Fox ship that you and your crew and Fox and Slippy Toad and everybody, you know, they talk, have their little witty banter conversations and everything. And like I said, there are boss fights at the end of each chapter. Some are more difficult than the others. You know, the game does a good job of ramping up the difficulty. You know, if you, I mean, I didn't even play expert, but I could imagine how difficult that shit is. Because I rarely play Unreal shooters. I haven't played Unreal shooters since really the early 2000s. So, but yeah, overall, great product. Star Fox 2026 Nintendo Switch 2. I mean, what do you expect with Nintendo Switch 2 at this point? You know, they're giving you what you kind of know what you're gonna get with them. You're gonna get quality and everything. But yeah, this is a remake, and you know, I'm glad I played it, because at least now I can say I played a proper Star Fox game, not the Star Fox Adventures. So, you know, it's a solid game. It's just not a big game, you know, to me, you know. And that could be a good or a bad thing, I guess. So yeah, I'm gonna give Star Fox Nintendo Switch 2 2026 a 8 out of 10. And people, make sure you check out the best gaming platform on the internet, bar none. Jason'sVideoGameSource.com, game database, forums. You can write reviews. You can, you know, write down completion times for over 100,000 different games, and it's still growing, by the way, the game database. So yeah, I really want that to get bigger. I really want that to you know, to help you create a great like game database and everything, and have fun on the forums, which we do, by the way. So yeah, that's about it. And I think I will see you in the next one. As far as the brand is concerned, I don't know which games I'm gonna play next. I think I got the next Assassin's Creed, and I might play the Doom DLC. And there's also another game in July. July is kind of like the down month, so I might go back and play a lot of the games that I haven't completed yet. So yeah, that's about it. I'll see you in the next one. Later.